Hey everyone, it's Kate Westwright and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really exciting video planned as I'm going to be taking you through my summer barn routine. Aside from the typical changes that come with summer, such as the wild flowers, nature, and reopening of beaches, as usual there are some seasonal adjustments that need to be made around the barn. Obviously no day is the exact same, but I hope you all enjoy the summer edition of my barn routine. It's 6 a.m. and I'm already at the barn. I start off my day by bringing in some horses in from their pastures. Since it can get so hot, we turn out the horses overnight and bring them into our air-conditioned barn during the day. Also, as I was out there, I managed to get a really cute photo of Pirate, one of my client's horses, lying down. Unfortunately, this did mean that he came in a little muddy, so I just rinsed him off so that he would be all clean for his owner. And I think he really enjoyed it. As the working students and stable hands already took care of the main barn, I lent a hand with the public one. I mucked some stalls, filled some water buckets, and fixed some hay nets. Finally, the barn chores were done, and it was time to ride, so I put on my helmet and boots and went to go get the first horse of the day. Pumpkin is an 11-year-old quarter horse and belongs to one of my clients. Her owner is currently on vacation, so I've been keeping her in shape. Today I wanted to take her out to do some cross-country around the property, and I decided to ride her first since it's still the morning so it's not quite as hot. And I actually took a bunch of footage of me tacking her up, but it got lost, so here's just me putting on my cross-country vest. Once I tacked up and got on, we rode down to where the jumps were, and I just warmed her up at the trot and canter in the fields nearby. As you can see, she was being a little lazy. She's definitely a horse that requires a little bit more leg, but I knew as soon as she saw the jumps, she would perk right up. I started off by just taking her over this log fence, and as you can see, I was correct. She immediately kind of woke up and she jumped it really nicely. And after doing some more individual jumps, I finally took her around the course and she did really well. There surprisingly weren't very many issues. Cross-country isn't really her best discipline, so I was honestly kind of surprised, but I couldn't be happier. Once I was done with the course, we walked back up to the barn, which gave her enough time to cool down, and of course I also rinsed her off just to make sure she was completely good to go. Afterwards, I grabbed my horse Storm, and I got him ready for a flat schooling session. Since it was still pretty nice outside, I rode him in the outdoor arena. He actually had a small vacation as we were at a pretty intense show last week, and I thought he deserved a few days off. So today was all about getting him back into the work mindset, which meant lots of circles, transitions, and lateral movements to get him to loosen up and to pay attention. Storm is a horse that kind of struggles with his attention span. I don't know, he just gets distracted a lot, and that was really coming through today, but luckily, by the end, he realized that vacation time was over and he was back to being his usual amazing self. Of course, after our ride, I walked him up to cool him down and hosed him off. Now, the middle part of my day was pretty boring, so I didn't really get too much footage. Since this is usually when the heat is at its peak, I usually try to avoid riding and do some other chores, such as cleaning tack, catching up on emails, and running any errands, which I didn't really bother to film just because I didn't think that would be the most interesting thing for you all to watch. But probably the most exciting part during this time was taking Firefly out for her daily walk. Firefly hurt herself out in the pasture and managed to get a giant cut on her leg. And while it's healing, the vet instructed us to keep her on stall rest and hand walk her for about 20 minutes each day. I walked her out and let her graze a little, and afterwards I gave her a bath and applied this healing ointment that was given to her owner by the vet. Then I put on a fresh pair of bandages. Then I headed down to the arena to teach a few lessons. I don't really teach many lessons these days, but one of our trainers is away at a show right now, so I offered to fill in. It was actually pretty fun and I enjoyed myself a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know, maybe I'll start teaching lessons again. Afterwards, I grabbed my horse Sugar and I got her tacked up. We actually have a show tomorrow, so I took her down to Marley's for some last-minute show prep. I didn't want to tire her out too much, so we kept the jumps low, and since we are competing in the jumpers tomorrow, I just worked on our pacing since that's something we can really struggle with. She's an off-the-track thoroughbred, and although her racing days are behind her, she still has some of that spirit within her, so she's prone to getting excited and rushing towards jumps. The course at Marley's was a hunter course, so the distances between jumps were pretty long, and again, as the jumps were low, this was a real test of her patience. Although we did have some hiccups, she got the hang of it by the end. After our ride, I got her ready for the show, which meant giving her a long bath. And then taking her out to graze while she dried. But as you can see, she was not really in the grazing mood. She was a little excitable, so she mostly just stared at me the whole time and shook her head. When she was all done, I brushed her and put her wraps on since we would be leaving pretty early tomorrow morning, and I know that would just be an extra hassle. And then I put her back in her stall, which she was a little upset about because all the other horses got to go out, but hey, what can you do? After doing some evening chores such as bringing horses back out and fixing hay nets, I headed home. I currently live in Silverglade Village, and I usually like to walk to the barn since it's really only like a 10 to 15 minute trip. And yeah, that was a glimpse into my summer barn routine. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like for the algorithm and subscribe to stay up to date with my latest videos. See you all later!